Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. The year 2018 has been remarkable for Indian sports, with our sportswomen leading from the front. It all began at the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games, where our women athletes proved they are as good as the best in the world. 24-year-old gymnast Dipa Karmakar brought laurels for India at the recently concluded FIG Artistic Gymnastics World Challenge Cup in Turkey after missing the Rio Olympics bronze medal by a whisker. And the latest to make the country proud is 18-year-old Hima Das, who became the first Indian woman to win a track gold at the 2018 IAAF World Under-20 Athletics Championship in Tampere, Finland. From humble beginnings at her father's rice fields all the way to sprint tracks, Hima's story is a remarkable one. So today in Depth, we'll celebrate Hima's achievement and trace her journey from Assam's rice fields to becoming the new poster girl of Indian athletics. Hima Das created Indian athletics history and emerged as the new poster girl of Indian athletics, winning the 400 meters event at the World Championships. But even more remarkable is the fact that until 5 months ago, it wasn't even among her first two preferences among track events. Sprinter Hima Das scripted history by becoming the first Indian woman athlete to win a gold at the world level. She clinched the top spot in the women's 400 meters final race in the IAAF World Under-20 Athletics Championships in Tampere, Finland.
As they hit the back straight in the 400 meters final.
A pre-tournament favourite, 18-year-old Das clocked 51.46 seconds to win the gold. Although this was not her personal best, as she had clocked 51.13 seconds last month in Guwahati at the National Interstate Championships.
She can see history.
Running in lane number 4, Hima Das was behind Romania's Andrei Miklos at the final bend, but produced a stunning burst during the final stretch to cross the finishing line well ahead of the field. She produced her trademark burst at the final 50 meters.
What a performance! She reeled them in one by one.
I'm first girl of India, track and field gold medalist, so I'm very happy. So special thanks my Indian and specially thanks my coaches.
Hima Das is the first Indian to have won a gold in the track event at the world level. She's also the first woman to finish at the top of the podium at a world championship at any level, be it youth, junior or senior. Flying Sikh Milkha Singh and sprint queen PT Usha were also not able to achieve this feat that Hima Das has. With her win in Finland, Hima is only the second athlete after star javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra to figure in a world record effort. Neeraj Chopra won a gold in Poland in 2016.
This is a girl, she's an amazing girl. She is not bothered about anything. She says, I must perform. I don't care whether I get a medal or not, but I must do my best. I must improve my timing constantly, she says, which is again a terrific attitude.
Hima is the daughter of a rice-growing farmer in Kandulimari village about 5 kilometers from Dhing town of Nagaon district in central Assam. She spent her childhood playing football and cricket with boys in the neighborhood. A Morigaon school teacher spotted her at a sporting event in 2011-12. Within a year, she was a district champion. However, it took Hima almost 2 years to reach the state-level competition. In early 2016, she won the 100 meters race at the state championships. The same year, she reached the finals of the Junior Athletics Championship in Coimbatore. In January 2017, Hima Das impressed members of the Directorate of Sports at a camp they organized for budding sportsmen. Nipun Das, the athletics coach with the Directorate of Sports and Youth Welfare, spotted the talent in Hima Das and asked her to shift to Guwahati for better training. Initially, Hima took part in the 100 and 200 meters events, but coaches noted that she would start a race slowly and then peak at the end, which is perfect for 400 meters sprint. That was when she was shifted to the 400 meters race. Hima competed for the first time in a 400 meters event at the Patiala Federation Cup in March 2018, where the Indian trials for the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games were held. Hima recorded a 51.97 second run to book her place at the 2018 Commonwealth Games. Although she finished 6th at Gold Coast, she improved her timing to 51.32 seconds. On the 27th of June this year, she clocked a career best performance of 51.13 seconds in Guwahati, surpassing the record of KM Benamol, who in 2001 had clocked a 400-meter dash at 51.21 seconds in Kiev, Ukraine.
Not every day an athlete does this kind of things. It's not easy. And to win an international gold medal, and at a time when going and participating itself is a big thing, there you go and win a medal. First you have to qualify. Once you qualify, then you have to perform there, and you have to keep on improving with each heat of yours when you run. So when you look at all these aspects, what Hima has done is something amazing.
Post her excellent show in Finland, Hima Das was showered with congratulatory messages. President Ramnath Kovind, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, cricket legend Sachin Tendulkar and several other eminent personalities took to Twitter to salute Hima Das on her achievement. The government will now provide end-to-end support towards her 2020 Olympic preparation. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Sportswomen bringing laurels to the country has not just been a matter of pride for Indians, but also encouraged girls to break the gender stereotypes and take up sports. Here are some Indian sportswomen who have made India proud with their accomplishments.
Considered one of the greatest athletes India has ever produced, PT Usha is often called the queen of Indian track and field. For the generation growing up in India in the 80s and 90s, there was nothing as mesmerizing than watching PT Usha take off the blocks like a gazelle. Such was the speed, grace and charisma of PT Usha, who notched off 13 gold medals from 1983 to 1989 in Asian Track and Field Championship. True to her nickname Golden Girl, she won 5 golds and 1 bronze at the 6th Asian Track and Field Championship held at Jakarta in 1985. With this, she created a record of the highest number of medals won by the same athlete in the same international competition. For her achievements, Usha has been conferred the Padma Shri and Arjuna Award in 1984.
Not that PT Usha didn't get, PT Usha also got, for her level at that point of time, she also got it, but not as much. And she had to work on her own. And she also came from a place, far off place like Kerala, almost land's end. From there she has to come and participate here. And she did exceptionally well. Anju Babu George, Kerala produced some of the best athletes.
Nicknamed Magnificent Mary, MC Mary Kom is an Indian Olympic boxer hailing from Manipur. Mary Kom is famed as a 5-time world boxing champion and the only woman boxer to have won a medal in each one of the 6 world championships. She is the only Indian woman boxer to have qualified for the 2012 Summer Olympics and won the bronze medal in the same. She also became the first Indian woman boxer to get a gold medal in the Asian Games in 2014 held in South Korea. Mary Kom has been awarded Padma Bhushan, Arjuna Award, Padma Shri and Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award. Karadam Maleswari is an eminent Indian weightlifter. She is famous for being the first woman to win an Olympic medal for India. In the Sydney Olympics 2000, Maleswari won the bronze medal in the 69 kilo class. In 1995, she won the Asian Weightlifting Championships in Korea in the 54 kg category. Maleswari, who remained a national champion for 9 years, was awarded the Arjuna Award in 1994 for her outstanding performance in the Games. She was a recipient of the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award for the year 1995 to 1996. She was also a recipient of the Padma Shri in 1999. Sania Mirza, India's most successful female tennis player, won the women's doubles major title in Wimbledon. A former world number in the doubles discipline, she won 6 Grand Slam titles in her career. Sania retained the sole world number 1 status in the women's doubles event for many years. Sania was named one of the 50 heroes of Asia by the Time magazine in October 2005. She was appointed as the UN Women's Goodwill Ambassador for South Asia in 2013. In 2014, the Telangana government appointed her as the brand ambassador of the state. She is also a recipient of the Arjuna Award, Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan and Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Awards. Saina Nehwal is currently ranked #1 in the world by the Badminton World Federation and is the first Indian woman to achieve the feat. She is also the first Indian to win the World Junior Badminton Championships and a medal in badminton at the Olympics. Saina won a bronze medal at the 2012 London Olympics, becoming the second Indian woman to win an individual medal at the sports event. She is also a recipient of Arjuna Award, Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna and Padma Bhushan. Indian women also performed extremely well in Commonwealth Games 2018 held in Australia's Gold Coast. In the Commonwealth Games 2018, MC Mary Kom became the first Indian woman boxer to win gold. Wrestler Vinesh Fogart bagged gold in 50 kg freestyle wrestling. Indian peddler Manika Batra also clinched a gold medal in the women's single table tennis. With this, she became the first ever Indian player to win the table tennis women's single gold. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Indian government introduced the National Sports Policy for the first time back in 1984 to promote sports and games and also to encourage talented youngsters. The policy was then revised from time to time to incorporate new ideas and also address emerging sporting challenges that has helped Indian sportsperson tremendously. The National Welfare Fund was set up in 1982 for the development of sports in India, with the aim of giving financial assistance to sportspersons. The Sports Ministry was also set up in the same year, later rechristened as the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports in 1985. 15 years later, it became a separate ministry. Subsequently, in 2008, the ministry was bifurcated into the Department of Youth Affairs and the Department of Sports. The Sports Authority of India was also set up in 1984 under the Government of India with the objective of promotion of sports and games. Prior to independence, there was not much focus on sports except for games like cricket, hockey and football, which were primarily played by the British and the elite class. While it was only after independence that the government decided to develop sports nationally, it was many years later that the National Sports Policy was formulated in 1984 with the objective of raising the standard of sports in the country. The sports policy also laid down 16 points, which included development of sports in rural areas, provision of nutritious food for players, inclusion of sports in cultural activities of schools and colleges, provision of employment for players, promotion of the sports industry, and participation in international events. In 2001, a new sports policy was formulated with the aim of pursuing the twin objectives of broad-basing sports and achieving excellence in sports at the national and international levels. Under the scheme, national sports federations and other sports institutions were provided government aid. The policy also aimed to provide scientific and modern methods of training to players. Under this policy, the participation of women, backward tribes and rural youth was also encouraged.
National policy means you have to create basic infrastructure, you have to create a lot of things, facilities for athletes and sports persons. For that you need money. In a country like ours, where everybody talks about where does the next meal is going to come from, how will you spend money on sports? See, somebody says, okay, I'll write off all her training facilities and all money for that. See, but that's not a guarantee that she is going to be a Olympic gold medalist or anything. But you must make your effort. You must promote your sports person. Not necessarily they should be the best in business.
In 2007, the government drafted a comprehensive sports policy with a view of accomplishing the unfinished agenda and addressing the emerging challenges of India in the 21st century. The policy identified the contribution of physical education and sports in personal and community development, health and education, economic development, and in the promotion of international peace and brotherhood, which is the spirit of the Olympic Games. In its latest scheme, the government launched the Khelo India program in 2017 to revive the sports culture in India at the grassroots level by building a strong framework for all sports played in our country and establish India as a great sporting nation. Under the scheme, the government plans to spend 1,756 crore rupees for the period from 2017 to 2019 on 1,000 talented players playing different sports. Talented players identified in priority sports disciplines at various levels will be provided annual financial assistance of 5 lakh rupees per annum for 8 years. It also aims to develop 20 universities across the country as sports hubs. Earlier this year, the first Khelo India School Games under the Khelo India program was held, in which under-17 athletes in 16 disciplines from across India participated. Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Our country is making rapid strides in the field of sports. But to see the emergence of more talents like Hima Das, programs like Khelo India and other initiatives need to gain more traction across the country.
Sports and sports lovers in India can be divided into two groups. On one side, there is cricket, which has success, glamour and fame. And the other side is still in the dark, with games like kabaddi, athletics, high jump and gymnastics, and pretty much most of other sports. If you examine the reasons for this division, you will find several. However, we must first take a look at the current situation of sports in the country. India has only one individual gold medal in the history of its Olympic Games participation. Abhinav Bindra won a gold in 2008 Games in the 10-meter air rifle event. Between 1928 and 1980, India won 8 gold medals, but all those came in a team sport, hockey. The state of sports in India can be understood from the fact that there are several players in the world who have won more medals than the total number of golds won by India over the last 100 years.
Decades ago, when the facilities were not as good as they are today, and where people could go out and participate so freely today, and they get a lot of incentives and all. Not that PT Usha didn't get, PT Usha also got, for her level at that point of time, she also got it, but not as much.
Recently, the Standing Committee of Parliament raised many serious questions about the sports culture in the country. The Sports Ministry gave some startling figures to the committee. They informed the committee that in the US, 22 rupees is spent per player per day. The UK spends 50 paise per day per player, and even small countries like Jamaica spends 19 paise per player every day. But in India, the government spends only 3 paise on each player every day. The figure speaks about government's apathy towards sports in India. Even if we leave out countries like America, China and Japan, others like South Korea and even one of the world's slowest economies, Jamaica, are ahead of us in the Olympic medal count. The reason is clear: their terrific sport culture. In these countries, players are shortlisted and raised under the government supervision since childhood. Experts believe that in India, the responsibility of grooming players from a young age has been given to states, and only when a player gets ready for the international level does he get the central assistance.
She used to, I believe, travel by a passenger train every day to come to Guwahati to train and go back home late in the night. How many people can do that, you tell me? Because today, even in cities, People don't want to travel very far. Here is a girl who comes from one city to another city just to train, and which is something that also shows her determination.
Also, from an investment point of view, India's condition is worrisome. The Standing Committee of Parliament says that public enterprises are not contributing in the National Sports Development Fund or NSDF, which is involved in promoting sports. The report says there is a confusion over CSR and NSDF, with companies spending more money meant for NSDF in the name of CSR. The committee also found that public sector companies and banks spend money on small internal events in the name of sports. This money is spent on parties, clubs and small matches, even as it is supposed to be spent on players. The committee has sought responses from the Ministry of Sports. The ministry accepted that compared to India's population, the country's performance in sports has been poor and that there is a lack of facility, equipment and medicines and even experts. The ministry also said that players refrain from taking up sports as a career because there is a lack of money combined with uncertainty. The committee found that most players are inducted into the non-officer grade, also suggesting that national level players should be admitted to the officer level. However, it is also true that after joining government service, most players are unable to focus on their game and get busy with other things. The weaknesses which the Standing Committee has highlighted are serious, but also do not present the entire picture. There are many grassroots challenges in developing a sports culture in India. These include lack of proper coaching, dependence on foreign coaches, dearth of promotion of sports at the school level, a lack of institutes devoted to sports at the national level, a lack of research, infrastructure and resources, poverty and a huge reduction in investment from the private sector. More than 60% of the country's population is young, with a majority of them being youth below 24 years of age. Understanding this situation, the central government started the Khelo India program last year to promote sports in the country and explore new talent. The government expects that this scheme will not only change the mindset of people towards sports in the country, but also help bring medals at the international level. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's it from us in today's edition of In Depth. We'll see you same time tomorrow with a focus on another subject. You can also watch our episodes online on YouTube and Twitter and share your feedback. Thanks for your time.